How's it going, everyone? I'm Andrew, and this is my collection. One of my most frequently asked questions on TikTok or Instagram or anything is, what are my favorite cover arts for my collection? So today I want to go through a few of them. So through this, I'm going to go through one of every format, as far as VHS, DVD, Blu-ray, stuff like that, and then one from each boutique distributor, that I have at least. And this is also only like standard releases. This isn't going to be like my favorite box sets or anything like that. That is a totally different list. So these Evil Dead, books that you see on my shelf, that doesn't count as cover art, at least for this video. But speaking of Evil Dead for VHS, my favorite is the Evil Dead VHS. This is totally hand-drawn or hand-painted art for the movie, and I think it is absolutely beautiful. Don't mind the soup cans. Is this a scene from the movie? No, but I'm ranking this on just how beautiful it is and how creative it is, really. Plus, it's an artifact from a time when custom artwork like that was kind of a staple and a mainstream for home media releases, and I think that's just a cool piece of history. So next up for both Laserdisc and CED, because they're similar enough, I gotta go with Star Wars, the first Laserdisc release for it. This really is the perfect cover art for any film, really. It perfectly captures the classic sci-fi feel, sets the tone for the sci-fi space opera that we got, and on its own is just an incredible piece of art. I absolutely love it. One of the things about the DVD release is some companies got really creative with their releases. David Fincher had a lot of great releases, a lot of really interesting ones, like the Zodiac DVD looked like an envelope, a letter to the editor. But my favorite is Memento, the Christopher Nolan film. So this release is styled after Leonard, the protagonist's medical file, and if I can get it, slides out. It's got all these documents, some police reports, and examinations. It maybe spoils the film, but it is a really interesting design choice, and it's just such a cool item to have in the collection. So Blu-ray was a much harder choice for me because I love Blu-ray. Obviously, I have a lot of them, but the problem with the distribution from studios themselves, not from boutiques, is the artwork was very lacking. Recently, the Disney Movie Club has been putting out a lot of new releases for like catalog films, but it feels like they're rough drafts. The cover art feels like the rough drafts for a lot of the releases, and kind of ugly. Marvel obviously is just the floating heads. They don't really say anything about the movie except who's in it, and that's not really good. And most, releases it's the same for the Blu-ray and the DVD, or if it's an older film, it's just the same VHS, Blu-ray, DVD cover art. So really it had to be a special edition, and the best one I have is the Apocalypse Now Final Cut. The artwork is a shot from the climax of the movie, one of the most iconic shots from the film. I don't know if this is a filter or if it's totally original artwork, but it is really beautiful and gives a nice haunting vibe to the whole thing, which fits perfectly for the film. Also, that counts for the 4K. Blu-ray and 4K, they're pretty much doing the same thing for the cover art. All right, now we get into the fancy stuff. This is the best stuff because the boutique stuff, the digibooks, the steelbooks, this is where artists really went full throttle and gave us some of the best cover art that we have yet. So to start, the digibook, and this is from one of my favorite movies of all time. It took me forever to find this. It's an import from Germany. It is the digibook of American Psycho. The cover art is actually it wasn't taken for the movie. It was taken from, like, years later, a photographer that had Christian Bale in her studio and wanted to create American Psycho-inspired portraits, and that's what they got. And it fits the movie so perfectly. The laughter, but the blood and the good blend of horror and comedy. I absolutely love it. Unfortunately, I've said this before in some posts, the digibook part is all in German, and I cannot read German. So thankfully, I'm only talking about the artwork itself. Another general favorite of mine, this came out this year, a Lionsgate Steelbook at Blockbuster exclusive, La La Land. They've been doing an amazing job with steelbooks and their slipcovers lately. So at first, it is just the moment from the epilogue with the lovely night background, but the slipcover slides up and it's an explosion of color and images from the film. It sets the mood perfectly. there's more on the backside. And again, it is a work of art. And I love this movie so much. So going to the flip side of that burst of color and beauty, we're going simple now. And I gotta go with Raw, the Second Sight special release for it. Everything you need to know about the movie. It is, a very simple image, very ominous, a great blend of coloring. Sets the tone perfectly for what you're gonna get with the movie, and has so much mystery to it. You gotta watch the movie. I don't want to spoil anything, but this is fantastic artwork for it. I talked about 3 movies that I really love. All 3 of those are in my top 10. But this next movie, this is nowhere near my top 10. I actually don't even care for the movie, but that just says so much more about the artwork. So from Kino Lorber is their 4K Mad Max release. Again, I don't like this movie, but just looking at the cover, if I had no knowledge of what the movie was, this artwork alone would sell me. This is so exciting. This is so much fun. There's action. There's an incredible figure standing there so menacingly. The speed shown in the artwork is so well done. This would make me want to watch the movie if I'd never seen it before. And even as somebody that doesn't care for the movie, kind of want to watch it again because this artwork is convincing me, like, yeah, this is a fun time. It's not. It's kind of a lie. But, it's some people's cup of tea. From Criterion Collection, I think their all-time greatest artwork, not their best remaster or anything, or restoration, but their best artwork was definitely with the Princess Bride digibook. I like digibooks. So this really does fit so well because obviously it's in the movie, it's the grandpa reading a storybook to the kid, so why not make it a book? But it's also based on a book. And here's a look at the inside. Digibook. Got some great artwork from the film. Again, this is just taking advantage of great storytelling to market a physical release. And my all-time favorite cover art goes to Arrow Video with their Adventures of Buckaroo Banzai release. This has everything you need to know about the movie, and it is an accurate sell. This awesome silhouette of a guy with a katana and a gun and a guitar with some Mad Max style visuals at the bottom. Yeah, that's pretty much it. It's a movie about a samurai, vigilante, brain surgeon, musician that fights aliens. If you don't get that kind of excitement or thriller 80s schlock from this cover art, you're probably blind. Because I think this is just perfect artwork to sell a movie, and I'm so glad I found this. This was like the hardest thing for me to find for my collection. And it has been so worth it. I absolutely love this. So those are my favorite physical release cover arts in my collection. I am almost at 2,100 movies, so I had quite a few to choose from, but I think those are the best of the best. If you have any questions about my collection, feel free to drop a comment. I will try to answer as many as I can. And I will be doing more videos of the frequently asked questions I get, so please stay tuned.